Okay guys, today I figured I'd do a little video on the difference between your typical northern redfoot tortoise and your Brazilian cherryhead redfoot tortoise. A lot of people don't know that cherryheads are actually redfoot tortoises. A lot of people believe that cherryheads are their own separate species. And some, there are arguments that they are a different species, but as of right now, they're classified as the same species, Redfoot tortoise. I'm not very good at pronouncing the Latin name, but Carbornaria, the Redfoot tortoise. And Redfoot tortoises are found all over South America. You have many, many different, what we like to call localities. Localities are basically different traits the tortoises develop because of different areas they're found in. In some areas, say Suriname, the redfoot tortoises are very large. In other areas like Colombia, you get redfoot tortoises that actually have yellow legs. And then you get redfoot tortoises in Brazil that have bright red cherry head color, and they were given that nickname. I believe the story goes they were imported into Miami to a place called Pet Farm, I believe in the 80s or early 90s, and they were redfoot tortoises, but somebody kind of dubbed them the nickname that they were these special redfoots called cherryheads, and ever since then the name has stuck with them. Some say that they were from Paraguay, but a lot of people argue that because the exportation in Brazil was shut down, that they were actually smuggling them from Brazil into Paraguay. So they didn't actually originate from Paraguay, they were just being exported from Paraguay. So how true that is, I don't know. I don't want to argue with anybody about it. If you know more information about it, great. That's just what I've heard from people. So these redfoot tortoises here are a northern locality. I'm not exactly sure where they originated from. I bought them at adult size from somebody, but these are your northern variety, like Suriname, Guyana, one of those areas. Those are your most common ones. They still export redfoots from those areas today. Not in very large numbers like they used to, but they still do. There's a quota. They can only export a certain amount. These cherryheads are not exported at all anymore. Like going back to what I just said about Brazil, they're not exported. What we have is what we have. You could get captive born ones. These ones I bought as adults as well. So you can start by seeing the difference. This is a male and female northern redfoot and a male and female Brazilian cherryhead redfoot. So you could start by seeing the color differences. Also, a notable difference is the male and female northern redfoots are clearly bigger. You can see that these are full grown and these are full grown, and the northern redfoots are probably about 2 to 3 inches bigger in size. They're heavier, they're just a bigger tortoise. That's why a lot of people love the cherryheads. Now, don't get me wrong, I do have a male cherryhead that is actually the size of this male right here. It's just not very common. The majority of the males and female cherryheads are going to be between 8 to 10 inches is about average. You'll get ones 11, 12 inches. It's not unheard of, but the majority are between 8.5, 10.5 inches around there. So of course these guys got to, keep stomping all over each other when they have the whole tub. I put them in here because it's been raining non-stop. It's been raining for the past week, and I wanted to kind of get some of the mud off them so you could see the good color on them. But so starting with some notable differences, like I said, the cherry red head. Also with the northern redfoots, when they are born, they're going to have an orange reddish color head. As they grow, the head is going to gradually turn a more yellow color like that. Now you will get ones that have more orange to them, more yellow. Going back to the localities, it all depends on where they originate from. But typically a lot of people get confused on babies because redfoots and cherryheads look very similar as hatchlings. As they get older, you can see the more clear difference between the two. So another difference between the two is you can see on this cherryhead here, you have a very, very black plastron on this female. You know, the northern redfoots, they will have some black on the plastron, but it's going to be a lot less color. So there is some black there. As you see, it's not all yellow, but it's not nearly as black as the Cherryhead plastron. So that's a very notable difference. The Cherryheads are going to have that dark plastron. Another notable difference really is just the vibrant red legs as well, but there's also here an extra scute, this large scute right here. I don't know if you can see, it's a little hard to do it here. Let me take them out. These extra scute right here is usually a sign of the Cherryhead as well. As you can see, black plastron on the Cherryhead. There's a little bit of scud, they call it. It's basically because it rains nonstop here during the summer. They develop that kind of scud or shell rot. It's very minor. It's just because it never really dries out here in the summer. It rains so consistently that they get that little bit of scud. Then when the winter comes, I put Neosporin on it. Their shell dries out and it goes away. So it's kind of a seasonal thing that happens from them living outside full time with, you know, rain every single day. So yeah, the head color, the plastron color, the scale on the leg, you can see that, you know, these the northern redfoots, they do have a big scale like that, but not nearly as bold as the Cherryhead has it, and it'll usually be one, two there on the arm. So those are the differences: size, plastron color, scale on the leg, head color, leg color. Sometimes you will see mixed Cherryheads where someone takes a male Cherryhead and you know, it breeds with a northern redfoot. It's not crossbreeding species because they are the same species, but it is it's just basically taking two localities and mixing them together. So it's not interbreeding. I guess a way you could kind of compare it is in the Florida Keys we have key deer. They're a lot smaller, just like the Cherryhead is a lot smaller, but at the end of the day they are still a white-tailed deer. That's what they are. But in the Keys they develop certain traits, aka a locality, where they stay smaller. So people do, you know, take the Cherryhead and the northern redfoot and breed them together. It would essentially be the same thing as a Florida key deer breeding with a white-tailed deer from, say, up north like Michigan. Same species, different locality, different traits, but it's not considered interbreeding. So I hope this information is useful for some of you guys. I know it could be a little confusing, but I figured I would just help out a little bit and just show you the difference between the Cherryhead, Brazilian cherry, and the northern Redfoot tortoise. I love them both. Both are awesome. I love the variations with redfoots on how you can have so many different color and size variations. And you know, Venezuela, they'll have bright orange heads. Colombia, bright yellow heads and yellow legs. Brazil, bright red heads. And it's just awesome how many different colors you can add with one species. It's amazing. So if you're curious to see what I have for sale, check out my website at southernreptiles.net, facebook.com/southernreptiles, or instagram.com/thesouthernreptiles. All right, signing out.